Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and this is your stimulus check update for the next stimulus package for Monday, November 9th. I hope everyone is off to a good and safe start to their Monday so far, and that you all have a wonderful week ahead. In this video, I'll be discussing updates in regards to the next relief package and the second stimulus check. I'll also be discussing unemployment, the Senate returning to Washington this week with more stimulus on their minds, and then I'll be wrapping up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. But first, if you wouldn't mind real quickly liking this video, giving me a big thumbs up. It really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of pushing this video out to other viewers like you, and hopefully helping other people like you as well. Okay, so the Senate has now officially returned to Washington, where Mitch McConnell has let it be known that their top priority will be to work on the next relief package. The most recent bill Mitch McConnell and Republicans in the Senate tried to pass was a $500 billion package that included an extension of the unemployment benefits at $300 per week, an extension of the Paycheck Protection Program, liability protections for businesses, among other things. This bill, as we all know, was blocked by Democrats in the Senate as they failed to get the 60 votes they needed in order for it to pass. Most recently, Mitch McConnell has still been calling for a highly targeted relief bill, citing the falling unemployment rate. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi continues to reject the idea of a skinny deal, saying that isn't something we should be looking at. Now, it's still in question at this point whether or not Pelosi will remain to be the Speaker of the House. Even though she's formally announced her bid to run for House Speaker once again, the more moderate Democrats have blamed her and the progressive agenda for their losses. While Nancy Pelosi and Democrats expected them to take over the Senate majority and gain even more seats in the House, they actually ended up losing seats in the House, and it looks like Republicans will retain the majority in the Senate as well. We'll find out who remains majority leader in the Senate come January, when Georgia will have their runoff elections. At the moment, it's looking like Republicans are holding onto 50 seats in the Senate, with Democrats holding just 48 of the seats. If Democrats can somehow win both seats in what used to be a deep red state in Georgia, the Senate would be split at 50-50. Then we would have soon-to-be Vice President Kamala Harris working in the favor of Democrats as the tiebreaker. Now, Republicans, of course, should be the favorite to win at least one of those seats, if not both. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. This will serve as a great importance because a Republican majority in the Senate will help balance some of the power out, as Democrats already have a majority in the House and will lead the White House as well. By Republicans maintaining the majority in the Senate, Democrats will be forced to work more with Republicans in what they want to get done, so we'll see more bipartisanship taking place. So it's quite apparent that even though Nancy Pelosi has a lot of respect among fellow Democrats, some are completely fed up with her. Representative Abigail Spanberger was one of the Democrats who was extremely upset with her. Spanberger said that we lost races we shouldn't have lost, that defund the police almost made her lose her race because of an attack ad, and that they need to get back to the basics. The more moderate Democrats are getting fed up with how far to the left they're getting pushed, and they're beginning to push back. This could be a very good thing in getting more relief passed, because the further the two sides are apart, the harder it is going to be to get anything done. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not Pelosi gets the majority of the votes to win House Speaker once again. She'll just need a simple majority, which is 218 votes, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And who knows, maybe a new House Speaker is exactly what we need in order to shake things up and get something done. I'm willing to bet just about any other Democrat in the House would have been more than happy to have accepted Stephen Mnuchin's $1.9 trillion offer just a few weeks back. By now, we would have seen an extension of the unemployment benefits and a second stimulus check. Because of Pelosi's all-or-nothing approach, we're still left with nothing. Now we have McConnell, who is much more fiscally conservative, negotiating with Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. Some people have advocated that, well, since McConnell may end up negotiating with Biden now, there is a higher chance of getting something actually done. Well, while that may be true, in the end, we'll just have to wait and see how much Biden's plan differs from Pelosi's. You'd think that with Biden being president and knowing just how important passing more relief will be to his success, that he'd be a lot more motivated to get a deal done, even if he doesn't get everything he wants. Without more relief, the economic strain on families will only worsen, and it'll hamper his success in the first couple of years. Knowing that, he'd be smart to quickly make a deal with McConnell to pass something, because something is obviously much better than nothing at all. And even though Nancy Pelosi may not like it, it's hard seeing her rejecting a bill agreed upon by a Democratic president. Sadly though, many people can't afford to wait until February or March for something to get done. Many families have needed help months ago, so it's going to be quite unfortunate if we have to wait a few more months to pass more relief. With that being known, and the holidays coming up, Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi must start working together in a better way to ensure we can pass more relief before the holidays. There's absolutely no excuse to hold this package up any longer. In the meantime, as always, let's hang in there, stay strong, and hope for the best. In unemployment news, as mentioned in yesterday's video, the labor market still faces a deficit of more than 10 million jobs, with several of those disappearing on a permanent basis. There are now 3.6 million Americans who have been jobless for more than 26 weeks, which is just an incredible and sad number. Without the CARES Act passing to give out $600 per week in unemployment benefits to Americans, we as a nation would be in pretty bad shape. Since the CARES Act expired, we were only able to have another short-term extension of the unemployment benefits, with President Trump passing an executive order. This extended the benefits for 4 to 6 weeks for most states via the Lost Wages Assistance Program. Now that every state has exhausted their benefits from the Lost Wages Assistance Program, people are only receiving their normal state unemployment benefits, which, quite frankly, isn't nearly enough to get by. Thankfully, week by week, we are seeing the unemployment rate continue to go down, but it seems like there may be a necessity to pass one more extension of the unemployment benefits to help us bridge the gap until we can get our unemployment rate back down to pre-pandemic levels. With that said, let's hope that Congress can pass a bill and do just that very soon. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm going to move right along to answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. And if you do have any other comments or questions for me, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do try to answer as many of the comments and questions as I possibly can, but for those comments and questions I'm not able to respond to, I do try to pick some of the more popular ones to answer in the next video in video form. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into the first comment of today's video, which is from Rod. Rod says, do you think the second stimulus check will be coming in March of 2021? Thank you for your question, Rod, and at this point, it's still unknown when the next stimulus check will be sent out. What we do know though, is if they do pass another relief package, more than likely a second stimulus check will be included. Both Democrats and Republicans are fully on board with a second round of stimulus payments, so I have almost no doubt we will receive one if another relief package does end up passing. With that said, if Joe Biden ends up working together with Mitch McConnell, and he ends up being more willing to compromise than Nancy Pelosi, then March would be a perfectly reasonable timeline for the next stimulus checks to begin going out. Okay, moving right along to the next question of today's video, which is from Vaughn. Vaughn says, will I receive retroactive pay if I go back to work in January? Okay, thank you so much for your question, Vaughn. And yes, if you do go back to work in January and they do pass another relief package, then you should still end up receiving retroactive unemployment benefits from whenever they start up until you begin working once again. At the moment, the unemployment benefits look like they will be retroactive to around September 12th when the 6 weeks ended from the Lost Wages Assistance Program. So if they do decide to make them retroactive to September 12th, then you should receive the payments from September 12th up until you start your job once again. With that said, that date is subject to change, but I will definitely make sure to keep you updated one way or another. Okay, moving right along to the next question of today's video, which is from Marcia. Marcia says, how can I get the $500 for my dependent? Thank you so much for your question, Marcia. And if you haven't received the $500 for each dependent you have under the age of 17, then you'll need to fill out the non-filers tool by November 21st in order to receive it this year. Otherwise, unfortunately, you'll have to wait all the way until next year to claim a $500 credit on your tax returns. And I definitely don't want to see you have to wait any longer than what you have to receive your payment. Okay, moving right along to the last question of today's video, which is from Nancy. Nancy says, what if the president refuses to sign anything just because he is angry about the election? We need help now, not in January. Okay, thank you so much for your question, Nancy. And for one, if McConnell and other Republicans do end up reaching an agreement with the Democrats in the next relief package, I would be very surprised if he vetoed the bill. For two, even if he does decide to veto the bill out of spite, which I doubt, the House and Senate can still override his veto by a 2/3 vote. Even though Congress has overridden less than 10% of vetoes by presidents, I would think there would be a very strong chance that a relief package veto would be overridden just because of the overall importance. But again, I would be very shocked if President Trump ends his presidency by vetoing relief going out to Americans. I just don't think that will be the way that he'll want to be remembered for. With that said, let's just continue hoping for the best. Alright, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is completely free to do so and it's a great support to me. Also, if you'd like to receive 2 free stocks from Webull with both stocks valued all the way up to $1,600, please feel free to claim those 2 free stocks by clicking the link in the description box below. And until next time, I'll see you guys and I hope you have a great day today.